Dear students, let us discuss nitrogen balance. Nitrogen makes up about 78% of the Earth's atmosphere. Why are we discussing about nitrogen balance in biochemistry? Nitrogen content is a measure of protein content. Protein content can be calculated by multiplying nitrogen content with 6.25. If someone asks you what is the nitrogen content of 100 gram of protein, what will you answer? It's very easy. 100 divided by 6.25, you will get 16 grams. So in 100 gram of protein, there will be 16 gram of nitrogen. So in 200 gram of protein, there will be 32 gram of nitrogen. Clear? How do we estimate nitrogen? That is done by Kjeldahl's method, which you might have studied in your school days. So if you take any protein like milk or egg, and if you measure the nitrogen content by Kjeldahl's method, you can indirectly measure the protein content also, right? By using this formula. Nitrogen balance is a measure of nitrogen input minus nitrogen output. Nitrogen here is used to denote the protein. So in other words, nitrogen balance reflects the balance between protein synthesis and protein breakdown. A healthy human will be in a state of nitrogen equilibrium. That is, nitrogen intake is equal to nitrogen excreted. Okay. Other than nitrogen equilibrium, there are two states of nitrogen balance. One is positive nitrogen balance, the other is negative nitrogen balance. Positive nitrogen balance means there is more synthesis of proteins. Negative nitrogen balance means there is more breakdown of proteins. Okay. Positive nitrogen balance indicates synthesis is more than breakdown. Negative means breakdown exceeds synthesis. All right. So in other words, positive nitrogen balance indicates that the nitrogen excretion is lesser than the nitrogen intake. What are the conditions in which there will be more protein synthesis? A child which is growing needs lot of protein. So childhood growth, pregnancy, lactation, recovery after illness, that is convalescence, anabolic steroid intake. So all these conditions leads to more protein synthesis compared to protein breakdown. What is negative nitrogen balance? More protein breakdown. So nitrogen excretion is greater than nitrogen intake. What are the conditions which leads to protein breakdown? Chronic infections, surgery, burns. So during burns, the proteins are extruded, right? So there will be loss of proteins like albumin and all during burns. Trauma, malnutrition, hyperthyroidism, Cushing syndrome. So all these conditions lead to protein breakdown and negative nitrogen balance. At this juncture, let me add one more point. To maintain a nitrogen equilibrium state, you need all the 10 essential amino acids in the diet. If there is absence of a single essential amino acid in the diet, it will lead to negative nitrogen balance. Remember, this is very important. So you can have question like deficiency of which of the following amino acid in the diet will lead to negative nitrogen balance. So the answer will be an essential amino acid. Okay.